All right, hey everyone, welcome to another deep dive. This time we're tackling a really fascinating topic. We're going to be talking about the nature of reality.
Oh, wow.
And for this one, we're going to be focusing on one source,
Okay.
a YouTube video. It's called The Nature of Reality with Darius J. Wright.
Interesting.
And, I mean, he's got some really, really unique perspectives,
Okay.
on consciousness and the universe. And he calls the universe the construct.
The construct.
So that's already pretty interesting.
Yeah, what does that even mean?
Yeah, and we're gonna kind of dive into all of that.
Okay.
Not to try to convince you of anything,
Right.
but sometimes just exploring
Yeah.
unconventional ideas
Sure.
can really kind of like get you thinking about things.
Totally. I'm all for open-mindedness. It's always good to
Yeah.
consider different viewpoints,
Exactly.
especially when they're outside the mainstream.
Exactly, and I think that's what we're gonna find here.
Okay.
So
Let's talk about this Darius.
let's talk about Darius a little bit.
Okay.
He talks about being aware of like this nature of reality, like his whole life.
Right.
He even claims to have been taken out of the construct at age 16.
At 16.
Yeah, so pretty intense experience.
That's young.
I know.
Yeah, I mean, to have that kind of profound experience so early on, it makes you wonder how that might have shaped his whole worldview.
Exactly, yeah.
And it's interesting that he uses this term, the construct, instead of saying universe.
Right.
It's like he's hinting at something more, like there's more to reality than what we typically perceive.
Yeah. So what is this construct? I mean, is it like another dimension or?
Right, what is it? Yeah, he doesn't really define it specifically,
Huh.
but it seems like he's implying it's some kind of framework
Okay.
that shapes our reality,
Okay.
and that there might be other levels
Oh, okay.
or dimensions beyond what we're currently aware of.
Gotcha. So that's kind of getting into the mind-bending territory a little bit.
Yeah, it's definitely stretching the imagination.
He also talks about these out-of-body experiences.
Okay.
And here's something really interesting.
Right.
He links them to sleep paralysis.
Oh, wow.
He actually calls sleep paralysis a gateway
Interesting.
to these experiences.
Okay.
I mean,
That's a bold claim, considering sleep paralysis is often associated with fear and anxiety.
yeah, for sure. And he describes like his soul, like actually detaching
Right.
from his physical body
Interesting.
and then having these like super vivid
Yeah.
experiences outside of his body.
It kind of reminds me of those near-death experiences people talk about.
Yes.
Where they see themselves from outside their body.
Exactly. Yeah.
The similarities are striking.
Yeah. So he seems to be suggesting that
Yeah.
sleep paralysis, while scary, could actually be like a natural state.
Okay.
That if approached with like, awareness
Yeah.
and calmness, could lead to these out-of-body experiences.
So is he saying anyone can have an out-of-body experience if they can handle sleep paralysis?
Yeah, that's what it sounds like.
Interesting.
And he even offers like some guidance on how to navigate sleep paralysis without freaking out.
Right. Although it's important to remember that sleep paralysis can also be a symptom of medical conditions.
Yeah, yeah.
So approach with caution.
Of course, definitely, yeah.
Yeah.
But what I find really intriguing
Yeah.
is how he describes the soul itself.
Oh, okay.
He claims it's not just an abstract concept, but like a physical entity
Okay.
with an electromagnetic field.
Wow, a physical entity.
Yeah,
What does that even look like?
I know.
Does he describe it?
I know. He says it retains its like physical presence
Okay.
even outside of the body.
Interesting.
And he talks about it having access to a wider light spectrum.
Light spectrum.
I know.
That's interesting.
Yeah, what is this light spectrum? Is it like a different range of frequencies?
Right.
Like that we can't normally perceive?
Yeah, what is he referring to?
I know, yeah.
It seems like he's suggesting that outside the body,
Yeah.
the soul can perceive a wider range of information and energy,
Okay.
which would make those experiences even more vivid than what we experience here.
So he's basically saying that our perception is limited by our physical bodies.
That's what it sounds like.
Okay, interesting.
And he also blames that this electromagnetic field
Yeah.
around the soul
Uh-huh.
is generated by the heart.
Wait, so he's saying our heart is more than just a pump,
It's like a power source for the soul.
like a power source.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fascinating.
It is. It's a fascinating idea. He doesn't get into the specifics of how that works, but it ties into this notion that the heart has a deeper energetic function beyond just pumping blood.
Okay, yeah, it's making me think about the heart in a totally different way now.
Me too.
So we've got the soul, it leaves the body,
Uh-huh.
has access to this wider spectrum of information.
Yeah.
But Darius also claims that he can, like, target real-time events while he's out of body.
What, like he can choose where he goes and... what he sees?
Yeah, and he talks about, like, seeing what his friends are doing,
Wow.
even knowing their thoughts, and sensing, like, deceased individuals.
Okay, so he's talking about like remote viewing and telepathy.
Yeah, kind of, yeah.
Is there any scientific basis for that?
I mean, there's definitely been research into extrasensory perception.
Right.
The scientific community is still
Yeah,
pretty divided
I can
on
imagine.
whether it actually exists.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, some studies have shown, like, promising results, but others haven't been able to replicate those findings.
Yeah, so it remains a bit of a mystery.
It's a mystery, but a fascinating one.
It is.
And bubble up, because Darius takes things
Okay.
even further. He believes there are 12 heavens,
12 heaven.
different levels of reality within the construct.
Wow.
He also talks about history being rewritten
Okay.
and suppressed knowledge, like the Vatican archives,
Mm-hmm.
holding the true story of
Right.
humanity.
So like a hidden history.
Yeah, and he even mentions ancient civilizations
Okay.
with advanced technology, like far beyond
Like what?
our own, like teleportation.
Teleportation? That's a big talk.
It's a lot.
From what we're typically taught.
It is, yeah.
So he's saying what we know about the past is incomplete.
Yes, and that there were these advanced civilizations with
Wow.
knowledge and technology that have been lost or suppressed.
That's fascinating.
I know, it's like those theories about Atlantis, but on a grander scale.
Right, except he's suggesting it's even more widespread and deliberate.
Yeah.
Like this information has been intentionally hidden.
And he points to things like the pyramids
Oh,
and their alignment with the stars as evidence of this, like, advanced knowledge
Yeah.
that we don't fully understand.
It does make you wonder what other secrets might be out there.
I know.
Just waiting to be uncovered.
Right. So we've got alternate realities,
Mm-hmm.
hidden history, possibly advanced ancient technology.
Yeah.
I mean, where do we even go from here?
Well, this next one might surprise you.
Okay.
He challenges conventional thinking about the Earth's shape.
Wait, is he going down the flat Earth rabbit hole?
He is.
Whoa.
Yeah, he describes a different shape for the Earth
Okay.
and talks about a firmament, this solid dome enclosed of our reality.
Interesting.
He even claims that images from NASA are composites and don't show the true nature of space.
Okay, that's a pretty controversial viewpoint.
It is. It's definitely a fringe theory. And, it's important to acknowledge that the vast majority of scientific evidence points to the Earth being a sphere.
Yeah, of course.
But the persistence of flat Earth theories, despite this evidence,
Right.
really highlights how strongly personal beliefs can shape our perception of the world.
It's true. It makes you think about how much our beliefs
Yeah.
influence what we accept as reality.
Exactly.
So we've got alternate realities, a rewritten history,
Mhm.
and now a different Earth.
This is quite the deep dive.
I know this deep dive is quite the journey. So where do we go from here?
Well, Darius goes on to describe a phallic man narrative.
Okay.
Similar to what we find in many religious and mythological traditions.
Okay. So he talks about a time when all these different heavens were open, accessible,
Mm-hmm.
but something happened, like a fall,
Right.
that led to a separation and suppression of human potential.
Interesting.
Yeah, he even links it to stories of fallen angels
Okay.
and a time when humanity was more connected to this spiritual nature.
It's a fascinating idea.
It is.
This concept of a lost paradise or a golden age where humanity was more in tune with its true self
Yeah.
seems to be a recurring theme throughout history.
It does, yeah, and it makes you wonder what caused this fall
Right.
and what it means for us today.
Exactly. He seems to suggest that fear played a crucial role
Okay,
in this separation from our true potential.
interesting. Fear can definitely be a powerful force,
Absolutely.
holding us back from,
Yeah.
experiencing who we truly are.
Yeah, and he emphasizes this theme throughout the video.
Okay, so how do we move beyond this fear
Right, how do we break freeing?
and reclaim our true power? That's where his core argument comes in.
All right, let's hear it.
He believes that consciousness dictates the universe.
Wow.
He emphasizes the power of the spoken word
Okay.
and the soul's infinite creative ability.
So our thoughts and beliefs shape reality.
Yeah, that's what he's saying.
That's powerful.
We're not just passive observers, we're active participants.
We're co-creators.
Co-creating our reality.
That's a huge responsibility.
I know.
If our beliefs shape our reality,
It is.
then what kind of reality do we want to create?
That is the question, and that's what we're going to delve into in part 2.
I can't wait.
Okay, so we're back, and we're continuing our deep dive into Darius J. Wright's perspective on reality and consciousness.
Yeah, we left off with this really intriguing idea that our beliefs actually shape our reality.
I know, it's pretty mind-blowing.
It is mind-blowing, but it also aligns with some interesting ideas in physics and philosophy.
Okay, so how does this idea of consciousness shaping reality actually work? I mean, does it mean we can just wish for things and they magically appear?
Well, Darius emphasizes that it's not about passive wishing.
Okay,
It's about aligning our thoughts, words, and actions with what we truly desire.
right. He talks about the power of the spoken word,
Yeah,
which echoes ancient traditions that believed that words carried a certain vibrational energy.
exactly. And he connects this to the soul's creative power.
Yeah,
He describes the soul as this infinite source of energy and creativity
right.
that we often limit with our own doubts and fears.
Right, he uses that analogy of a house.
Yeah, the house announce.
When someone's living in it, their energy keeps it vibrant. But if they leave, it starts to decay.
Right. So he's saying our soul's energy is what sustains our physical body
Okay.
and even our experiences in the world.
That makes me think about the placebo effect.
Oh, interesting.
How believing in a treatment can actually trigger real physical changes.
That's a great connection. The placebo effect shows that our minds have a powerful impact on our physical reality.
Right.
And Darius takes that idea even further, suggesting that this power extends beyond our bodies
Okay.
to influence the world around us.
So how do we tap into this power? How do we align our beliefs with what we want to create?
Well, Darius emphasizes the importance of authenticity
Okay.
and living in alignment with our true selves.
Right. He believes that when we deny our true nature or try to fit into societal expectations, we block the flow of our soul's energy.
He seems to be suggesting that suppressing our true selves can actually lead to unhappiness and even physical ailments.
Yeah. And he encourages us to embrace our individuality
Mhm.
and express our unique gifts.
He even says that the greatest honor is the experience and wisdom that the soul acquires throughout its journey.
That's a really empowering message, that our individuality and our experiences are valuable and contribute to the larger tapestry of existence.
And he also emphasizes the transformative power of love.
Okay?
He challenges the idea that love is weak or passive, portraying it instead as a powerful force that can overcome any obstacle.
He compares it to the fierce love of a parent protecting their child.
Exactly. He seems to be suggesting that when we embody that kind of fearless and unwavering love, we become unstoppable forces for good in the world.
But he also acknowledges the darker side of humanity,
Right.
the greed and fear
Mm-hmm.
that can drive so much conflict and suffering.
He calls greed the abyss of the soul, a bottomless pit of desire that can never truly be filled.
And he describes fear as a self-imposed prison that keeps us trapped in limiting beliefs and prevents us from experiencing true freedom.
He challenges us to break free from these limitations and create a world where love and compassion reign supreme.
Okay, this all sounds very inspiring, but it also raises some questions for me about personal responsibility.
Okay.
If our consciousness shapes reality,
Uh-huh.
does that mean we're solely responsible for everything that happens to us?
Right.
What about things that are outside of our control?
That's a great question, and one that gets to the heart of free will and determinism. Darius seems to be suggesting that while we can't always control external events,
Right.
we have the power to choose how we respond to them.
He encourages us to release ourselves from the prisons of fear and step into our power as conscious creators.
He believes that even in the face of adversity, we can choose to focus on love, forgiveness, and compassion.
He also acknowledges that this is a journey, not a destination.
Mm-hmm.
It's about continually learning, evolving, and expanding our consciousness.
He urges us to stay curious, challenge our assumptions, and remain open to new possibilities.
He even encourages people to try having out-of-body experiences for themselves.
Oh, wow.
He says seeing is believing.
So he's advocating for direct experience as a way to shift our perspective
Yeah.
and awaken to the vastness of our consciousness.
He also recognizes that these ideas can be difficult to grasp, especially for those who are deeply rooted in conventional belief systems.
He invites us to approach these concepts with an open mind and a willingness to explore different perspectives.
He suggests that even if we're not ready, to embrace the idea of out-of-body experiences.
Yeah.
Simply asking ourselves questions like, where do I come from and who am I, can lead to profound insights.
It's a reminder that the journey of self-discovery is ongoing and that there are many paths to awakening.
And he emphasizes that we're not alone on this journey.
Oh, that's good.
He talks about a growing number of people awakening to these truths and a collective shift in consciousness
That's collective shift.
happening on a global scale.
That's hopeful.
He believes that this shift is leading us towards a more compassionate and interconnected world.
It's a hopeful message
It is.
that we have the power to create a better future for ourselves and for generations to come.
But he also cautions that this path is not without its challenges.
Right.
He describes a battle between forces of light and darkness, a struggle between those who seek to control and those who seek to liberate.
A classic battle.
He talks about a great work that's underway, a mission to awaken humanity to its true potential and create a world based on love, truth, and justice.
He encourages us to join this great work and become beacons of light in a world that often feels dark and divided.
So how do we translate these profound concepts into practical action?
Right. How do we actually live out these ideals in our everyday lives?
That's a question we'll explore when we return for the final part of our deep dive. Wow, we've been on quite a journey with this deep dive into Darius J. Wright's perspective on reality and consciousness.
It really has been a wild ride.
It has.
You know, we've explored everything from the soul's electromagnetic field to the concept of 12 heavens, the power of belief, and the idea that consciousness shapes the universe.
I mean, it's just been like a whirlwind of thought-provoking concepts and unconventional perspectives.
And now as we wrap up this deep dive, we want to bring it back to you, the listener. What does all of this mean for your life, for your understanding of reality, and for the choices you make every single day?
I mean, we've covered so much ground. But one of the most powerful takeaways for me is this idea that we're not just passive observers in the universe. We're active participants, co-creators of our reality.
Darius encourages us to step into that power, to move beyond fear and embrace our authentic selves.
He challenges us to examine our belief and align them with what we truly desire to create in our lives and in the world.
He reminds us that love isn't some weak or sentimental emotion, but a powerful force that can fuel our growth and even transform the world around us.
He asks us to question everything, to seek truth, and to never stop exploring the mysteries of existence.
His perspective may not resonate with everyone, and that's okay.
Of course.
But even if you don't agree with everything he says, I think there's something valuable in the way he challenges us to think differently, to expand our awareness, and to consider possibilities that we might not have entertained before.
Exploring unconventional ideas like this, it can be a really powerful catalyst for personal growth and transformation.
He can help us break free from limiting beliefs and open ourselves to new ways of seeing the world and our place in it.
So as we conclude this deep dive, we invite you to reflect on what you've heard and how it resonates with you.
What beliefs do you hold that might be shaping your reality?
What fears are holding you back from fully expressing your authentic self and creating the life that you truly desire?
Darius believes that we all have the power to create a more loving, compassionate, and just world.
But that power starts within each of us, with the choices we make, the beliefs we cultivate, and the actions we take.
So we leave you with this question. If your consciousness truly does shape the universe, what kind of universe will you choose to create?
I think that's a great question for everyone to ponder. And on that note, thank you for joining us on this deep dive.
Until next time.